My man said number B. Alright, y'all, we made it. Number 1. So happy I'm here. Pause. We got Nas. Alright, now listen, I guess if you can follow me in the countdown up until now, process of elimination could have led you to this result before I even announced it. But remember when I said that Jay-Z was like the poster child of a successful rapper, being able to have ultimate success on the commercial side of things while keeping 10 toes down the streets? Well, Nas is the poster child of hip-hop told, alright? And I'm not gonna lie, when I first created this list, I initially had Jay as the number 1 MC. As time went on, and throughout the year, I've had many conversations with various hip-hop minds who I respect and consider their perspective. And my boy Naj from 175, same block Hell Rel is from, he posed the questions to me at the gym. Now, quick backstory. I have a small little Bose speaker that I listen to my music on because my Bluetooth headphones stopped working all of a sudden, right? Every time we would chop it up with about music and whatever else, the music would be playing in the background. And he would always catch a Nas song playing, whether it was the full version of Stay Chisel or Echo or Nothing New Under the Sun, right? And he would always ask me, why don't I hear no Jay playing out your speaker? If you have him number 1, why don't I hear his music as much? And I had to stop and think about it, like really think about it. And a simple question like that gave me such clarity. So I ran down almost 10 pages of content on the previous entry, listing tons of accolades and accomplishments, which he truly is worthy of. But why wasn't more of his music in my workout playlist? Then it made sense to me. That is where the distinction between the best rapper and the best MC happened. And this is no slight to Jay, but there are a few degrees of separation here. First, we must acknowledge the fact that since his debut appearance on Live at the Barbecue with Large Professor and Main Source back in 91, there was a buzz growing, eagerly anticipating his arrival to the rap game. 92, MC Search of Third Base became his manager and featured him on another track called Back to the Grill Again. Chubb rocking a few cats. I remember that, I like that tune. By now, he was already being hailed as the second coming to Rakim. At first, it sounded like a reach, but the more we heard, the more it made sense. Listen, y'all, Rakim created flow, and Nas was like Rakim squared. So when you hear things like that, it builds the buzz more. And it was big shoes to fill, but in 94, he delivered the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry inductee, Illmatic. This album is so good, the word became an adjective in the Ebonical Dictionary of Slang, along with the term Big Willie style or Willied out, introducing us to the legend AZ and arguably one of the most memorable verses in hip-hop history in Life's a Beat. And as a side note, I'm telling you guys, Nas and AZ should have made an album together. Top 3 1-2 combo. Top 3 1-2 combo. I only know 2 of them. 2 1-2 combo is better. Alright? He gave us a New York anthem that still bangs to this day in New York State of Mind. Showed us the versatility in production and content with a sprinkle of upliftment to the culture and the world is yours. Brought us back to the simpler times with the walk down memory lane. Painted a snapshot of life moving on when your friends have to sit behind the wall in one love. And then bringing it all back to the streets with a vivid description of products of the environment represent. All the while reminding us that it ain't hard to tell he's the one up next. Mind you, this was after the Wood made their debut in 93 and had the game under siege. This was literally purely a non-skip album that had no songs made for the radio, but they were definitely bringing on. Summer 94 was all about Nas, before Jay and before Big. The bar was officially raised at that point. In 96, he raised the bar even further with his second album that was written. This album was special because it was almost like a cleaner version of Illmatic. And I don't mean cleaner in the matter of lyrically, but sound and production. It was crisp, it was tighter. Pause. Maybe not pause. This album highlighted his storytelling ability in one song that I believe is the greatest story ever told, and I Gave You Power. The imagery, the parallels, the aesthetics behind the song painted a picture that we all saw being created on a blank canvas like it was a Bob Ross painting. The way he described himself as a gun that purposely jammed on his handler because he was tired of the damage he caused by being used improperly. They only spoke to the streets, but had a level of consciousness behind it all. This was another stripe of rank for him as he always kept the conscience in his rhymes, no matter what. This album exhibited the mastery of telling short stories. Every 16 could be a story that ties into the previous verse or the upcoming, or it could just be a standalone story that has all of the elements of a complete story, from the start to the finish. Songs like Watch Them Ninja, Black Girl Lost, The Message, Street Dream, and Shootouts are perfect examples of that talent. This was his second classic in a row. In 97, him, AZ, Foxy Brown, Cormega, and Nature released a Firm album that had some bangers on it like Firm Biz. I like the remix better. Firm Biz is dope, but the remix to me is better. Phone Tap, Desperados, 5 Minutes to Flush, and Throw Your Guns. In 98, he featured in Belly with DMX as Sincere, depicting the life of Get Money cats in the city. Hood Classic, 99, he was about to drop a double CD with I Am, but a lot of it got leaked, and those songs became a separate project as the original Lost tapes that had Blazer 50, Papa Was a Player, You Gotta Love It, and No Ideas Original. Let's not forget about, I should say, the other freestyles that he had on the mixtape scene with the Foulness and what was the other one? It was a Jack of the Beats freestyle that he had too. Yo, he was putting in work. He had the joint with the Bravehearts on the reel that never got aired, but like 10 years later they gave us one verse on a Clue tape, and everybody was like, yo, where is this song at? And he showed up with a rendition of it that was like, we want to hear the original one. So going back to the I Am, I think if it would have happened the way it was set up as a double CD, it would have been 3 bangers in a row. But being that he only dropped a single disc, it was met with mixed reviews, but still had bangers like New York State of Mind 2, Hate Me Now, Small World, Nas Is Like, KISSING, and Money Is My Beat. Alright, later on that year in 99, he dropped Nostradamus. Another mixed review on this when people were fearing Nas' career was in jeopardy. Still had bangers like Project Window, The Life We Chose, Family First, Last Words, and I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't a fan of that whole You Owe Me joint with Genuine. To me, he was trying to go too commercial, and you know, because hip hop was becoming more crossover at the time. But that just wasn't his thing, man. You stick to your script, baby. Stay in your lane. In 01, Still Mad it came out. And it was appropriately titled because there was an ongoing beef with him and Jay. And I don't care what nobody say. Jay threw his best shots with Takeover and Super Ugly, but Nas got him with Ether. He got it. This again, arguably, to me, is the greatest diss track next to No Vaseline and then the Being You that Common did against Ice Cube. As strong as Jay was at that point in 01, he put a major chink in his armor to the point to where the beef ended without Jay saying nothing back. And it came, and then this became a new turn in the flames of hip-hop and pop culture, where you got Ether. Nas had the crown back at this time, all right? While delivering One Mic, Rewind, another original concept nobody did before. We rhyming the story in reverse. Second Childhood, Got Yourself a Gun, and What Goes Around. I hope you all are paying attention, because I'm speaking of songs that never got radio play, but they're still revered in hip-hop as great songs, all right? 2002, he released Godson, which got no real commercial buzz, but gave us the streets more bangers to add to the resume like Get Down. More short stories, Made You Look. The remix with Jada and Luda I think is better. Heaven, Book of Rhymes, that whole Book of Rhymes song. Yo, I Can, the Consciousness song. And frankly, in 04, his double CD, The Streets Disciple, was his last solid project for a while, but only had like 5 joints on 2 discs. That was really banging, so I ain't gonna hold you, you know what I'm saying? His next 3 albums were all kind of whiffs to me. The only good tracks that came from that run was the joint with Amy Winehouse and Daughters. That song Daughters off the Life is Good album, all right? Everybody and their mama thought it was over for Nas. But then, what happened, y'all? He found Hit Boy, and the renaissance commenced before Beyonce's movie just dropped. This 40-plus-year-old man found his second win and delivered 6 albums in 3 years. 6 albums in 3 years! With King's Disease Part 1 through 3 and Magic Part 1 through 3. To me, the King's Disease trilogy was better than the Magic trilogy, with KD1 and KD3 being the best projects out of them all. The one thing I will say, his Achilles heel though, throughout all of this, the fact that he has and still does have a tendency to pick some whack beats to rhyme over, but can't win them all, I guess. At the end of the day, the fact that Nas never had the commercial success that Jay-Z had and still remained at the front of the line when it came to combos of still who's on the throne, again, without radio spin, says all you need to know. Listen, man, he used 871 words in KD3 alone that he's never used before. And this is after using over 90,000 different words throughout his 28-year career. If that's not an example of evolution and continuing to perfect your craft, I don't know what is. And this is not to mention the business ventures with helping jumpstart the Ring app that before was sold to Amazon. Everybody got it on their doors now. And he's currently starting up a health insurance company to aid former hip-hop stars in the twilights of their years. Talk about constantly trying to uplift your community when you're in a position to do so. He, to me, is the ultimate MC. I have spoken!